I used to and some overhead. Tell me oh, here's what we'll do.
All right, hello everyone. I was taking my mask off to come and get this, and my earrings got all tangled up in my mask. Anybody else ever have that problem?
Yeah.
Thank you. It's not just me. Welcome to Black Theater Workshop 2022. I am Catherine Bentley. I'm a professor here in the Department of Theater and Dance. I'm also proudly the artistic director of Black Theater Workshop, and a professor and director of Black Studies and director of our Impact Academy. And yes,
come on.
More than all that, I am so grateful to see you all here tonight. Isn't this exciting to be back in space together like this? I am so excited to have you all witness this tonight. This is the 23rd year, I think, of Black Theater Workshop. Wow. Of us continuing to uplift the voices of our Black students here on this campus. And this year, we have the honor and privilege of hosting a phenomenally talented professional theater company, New World Contemporary Dance Theater, based in Denver, Colorado, with dancers from all over Memphis, LA, Philly, Harlem, New York, all came here on Sunday, this past Sunday, and put this show together.
All right.
You know, it's pretty awesome. Actually, our students, three of our students and one guest artist are performing with them. So this has just been a phenomenal week of us doing theater and the arts back together in person. I would like to thank Arts and Issues, who helped to sponsor this, the Department of Theater and Dance, Black Studies, and Black Theater Workshop. This is a collaborative effort. I'd like to thank my our partner here in the theater department, Teresa Kelly, who's been with us this week, helping to get these lights together. So I thank Teresa. And I would like to thank our collaborators who are here with us, the artistic directors of New World Contemporary Dance Theater, Chris Page Sanders and Bashir Page Sanders, who are in the audience back here. And Jeff, who maybe is watching us on the internet tonight. We are going to have a short talk back after the show. We'd love for you to stick around. The show is just under, I don't even know if I'm in my light. The show is just under an hour, and we have just a 15-minute talk back. So as you see, I took my mask off because I'm here on stage. The performers will have their masks off, but we ask you to please keep these on. It's very important that you keep these on in the audience. We ask you to please refrain. That means don't do it. From pulling out your phone. Don't take any pictures. Don't make a phone call or a text. I know you're going to want to tell people how great this is. Please wait till after the show to post it on social media so people can come tomorrow. Our last show is tomorrow at 2:00. All right, so we hope that we can get some more folks in here. I'm just really happy to have you all, and I want you now to warm up the stage, give some love to New World Contemporary Dance Theater and the production of From Jimmy to America, an ode to James Baldwin. Let's give them some love.
I had something quickly that I want to just talk about real quick. You know, when I was growing up, I was taught in American history books that Africa didn't have history. And neither did I. You know, I was a savage about whom the less said, the better. I had been saved by Europe, brought to America. And of course, I believed it. I didn't have much choice. Those were the only books available to me. Everyone else seemed to agree. If you walk out of Harlem or ride out of Harlem downtown, the rest of the world agrees. What you see, it is bigger. It is cleaner. It is richer, it is whiter, it is safer than where you are. They collect the garbage. People can obviously pay their life insurance. Their children look happy and safe, but you're not. And you go back home, and it would seem that, yes, it is a God-given truth that you belong where white people have put you. I mean, it's only since the Second World War that there was a counter image available to the world. That image, it didn't come about through any legislation or any part of American government, but through the fact that Africa was suddenly on the stage of the world. And Africans had to be dealt with in a way they had never been dealt with before. That gave the American Negro, for the first time, a sense of himself, beyond the savage, beyond the clown, which has created many conundrums and probably will continue to do so, because there's one thing that the white world has not seemed to have learned yet. I like to think I have learned it. It's that Black people are just like everybody else. Shocking, I know. But I'm serious. One has consistently used the myth of the Negro and the myth of color to pretend and to assume like what they were dealing with was something exotic, something bizarre, something so far away from human practicality that it was basically unknown. Alas, it's not true. We are human too. So unless we can manage to agree and accept some kind of dialogue between the people who have paid for the American dream versus the other people who have not quite achieved it, then we're going to be in terrible trouble. I have to say, that's what concerns me most. We're sitting in this room right now, and I would like to believe that all of us, if not, most of us are relatively civilized. We can talk to each other, right? We can have a discussion, at least on certain topics, right? So we can walk out of here assuming that the measure of our enlightenment, or at least our politeness, has some effect on the world. And it may not.
It may not.
I remember, for example,
when
the Attorney General,
Mr. Robert Kennedy, said that it was conceivable that in 40 years in America we might have a Negro president. And that sounded like a very emancipated statement, I suppose, to white people. They were not in Harlem when this statement was first heard. And did not hear, and possibly will never hear, the laughter and the bitterness and the scorn which this statement was greeted. From the point of view of the man in the Harlem barbershop, Robert Kennedy only got here yesterday. And now he's already on his way to the presidency. We've been here for 400 years, and now he tells us that maybe in 40 years, if you're good, we may let you become president.
I'm not sure anymore just how it happened before. The places that I knew were sunny and blue. I can feel it deep inside. This black nigga's pride. I have no fear when I say, and I said every day. Every nigga is a star. Every nigga is a star. You were the light that you and I. Every nigga is a star. I have walked the streets alone, drinking as I go round the beat. You can say I chose you. We got the right place in the sun. When in love for everyone. Every nigga is a star. Nigga, full nigga, real nigga, rich nigga, home nigga, house nigga, feel nigga, still nigga, still
Well, I know this, anyone who's ever tried to live knows this. So what you say about somebody else, anybody else, reveals you. What I think of you as being is dictated by my own necessity, my own psychology, my own fears and desires. I'm not describing you, I talk about you, I'm describing me. Now here in this country, we've got something called a nigger. It doesn't ashamed, I beg you to remark, exist in any other country in the world. We invented the nigger. I didn't invent it. White people invented it. I've always known, I had to know by the time I was 17 years old. What you were describing was not me. What you were afraid of was not me. It has to be something else. You invented it. So it has to be something you were afraid of. You invested me with. And that's so. No matter what you've done to me, I can say to you this, and I mean it. I know you can't do any more, I got nothing to lose. And I know, and I've always known. No. And really always. That's probably happening. I've always known that I'm not a nigger. But if I am not the nigger, and if it's true that your invention reveals you, then who is the nigger? I'm not the victim here. I know one thing from another. I know I'm going to born and I'm going to be, I was born, I'm going to talk and I'm going to die. The only way you get through life is one of the worst things about it. And that a person is more important than anything else. Anything else. I learned this because I had to learn it. But you still think, I gather, the nigger is necessary. But it's unnecessary to me, so it must be necessary to you. I'll give you your problem back. You're the nigger that is me.
I have walked the streets alone. 20 years I've been on my own, to be hated and despised. No one to sympathize, but there's one great thing I know. You can say I told you so. We've got a bright place in the sun, where there's love for everyone. And if who will deny that you and I
with a lovely light complexion. There's nothing hit or miss about the beauty benefits of Natanola bleaching cream. Just try it now and see how brighter and lovelier day by day. Get your Natanola and see for yourself how quickly it lightens and brightens your complexion, loosens blackheads, makes your skin feel softer and smoother, look clearer and lovelier. Get Natanola right away. Everyone should use Natanola bleaching cream.
Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate your back from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other. Somebody, I may be poor, but I am. Somebody, I may be on welfare, but I am. Somebody, I may be unskilled, but I am. Somebody, I am. Black, beautiful, proud.
to elucidate for myself a theology and the effects of theology, which I then only realized I carried in myself. It was not the world that was my oppressor only, because what the world does to you is the world does it to you long enough and effectively enough. You begin to do it to yourself. You become a collaborator, an accomplice of your own murderers, because you do the same things they do. And that's not to begin to break out of all of that and try to become yourself.
Are you ready, black people? Are you ready, black people? Are you ready? Are you really ready? Are you ready? Ready to do what is necessary? Are you ready? To do what is necessary to do? Are you ready? Are you ready, black man? Are you ready? Black woman, are you ready? Are you ready, ready, ready? Are you ready? Give me good now. Give me good now. Give me good now. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready to give yourself your love, your soul, your heart?
If Black English isn't a language,
Then tell me what is. What joins all languages and what joins all men is the necessity to confront life to outwit death.
language is a political instrument, a means and proof of power.
Language reveals the private identity.
Language connects one with the larger public communal identity.
Language divorces one from the larger public communal identity.
If Black English isn't a language, then tell me what is.
Now, I do not know what white Americans would sound like if there had never been any Black people in the United States, but they would not sound the way that they sound.
Jazz, for example, is a very specific sexual term.
As in jabbering, baby.
But white people purified it into the jazz age.
Soccer tune, which means roughly the same thing that has been adopted by Nathaniel Hawthorne's descendants with no qualms or hesitations at all, along with let it all hang out, right on, beat your side,
Which was once the Blacks' most total and despairing image of poverty.
was transformed into the thing called the Beat Generation, which was a phenomenon largely composed of uptight, middle class, white people, imitating poverty, trying to get there.
To get what?
Doing that thing.
Doing their despairing best to be funky, which we the Blacks never dreamed of doing. We were funky, baby, like funk was going out of style.
Come on now.
No one can have his cake and eat it too.
Talk about it.
It is late in the day to attempt to penalize Black people for having created a language that permits the nation its only glimpse of reality.
Black people came to the United States chained to each other, but from different tribes. Neither one could speak the other's language.
If two Black people at that bitter hour in the world's history have been able to speak to each other, slavery could never have lasted as long as it did.
The slave began the formation of the Black church. And within that unprecedented tabernacle, Black English began to be formed.
And that was something completely different.
She's your queen to be, a queen to be forever, a queen who'll do whatever His Highness desires. She's your queen to be, a vision of perfection, an object of affection to quench your royal fire completely. Wilt thou have this man to be thy wedded husband, to live together after God's ordinance in the holy estate of matrimony? Wilt thou love him, comfort him, honor and keep him in sickness and in health, forsaking all others, keep thee only unto him, so long as ye both shall live?
There's a prejudice that at one time was against homosexuals.
At one time.
Yeah, hold on. When it was a criminal offense.
Mm-hmm.
Then that's got removed.
Oh.
And people started to appear to accept. Back it comes again now because of AIDS.
It never went anywhere. It never went anywhere. People's attitudes don't change because the law changes. I know that. And homosexual questions like this, it's like what we call a racial question. Nobody, no man and no woman, is precisely what they think they are. Love is where you find it. And you don't know where it will carry you. And it is a terrifying thing. It is the only human possibility, but it's terrifying. And a man can fall in love with a man, a woman can fall in love with a woman. There's nothing anybody can do about it. It's not the powers of the law. There's nothing to do with the church. And if you lie about that, you lie about everything. And no one has a right to try to tell another human being whom he or she can or should love.
Will you? President knows who asks the questions, go look. Oh, I love you, and if you'll have me. I'm sorry, Byron, I'm over.
Just stop!
Will you have me the way as your lawfully wedded husband from this day forth to having a home and richer for poorer? Baby, please, please.
I
Love happens to you, you can't love anybody. Doesn't make any difference if you can't love a woman, can't love a man, you can't love anybody. You're dangerous. Because you have no way of learning humility. No way of learning what other people suffer. No way of learning how to use your suffering and theirs to get from one place to another. In short, you feel even responsibility, which is to love each other.
I think the only thing that's changed maybe since Martin Luther King since 54 is the black woman.
I don't think she's changed. I just think she's become more visible.
No, I think she's changed. Because there was a time, let's say my mother, my aunt, you know women like that. They would say, okay, if that's the way you establish your manhood, then I'm going to go for it. And my generation says, hey, no good. You must establish a new base. And we are as a group demanding that a new base be established.
Okay, but be careful as a woman what you demand of a man.
I demand that he be a man.
But you can't demand it like you have to suggest it.
Well, that's your ego that says that, no, I demand it, now you deal with that.
Okay, I'll deal with it.
I demand that you be a man, and I don't think that's asking too much. I need a man, and black men have always been offered two provisions. People are either going to eat or be starved to death. Sometimes you're not able to feed your family. Sometimes you're not able to clothe your family. Do you then also deprive them of your manhood and the imprint that a man has? Who teaches our son how to feed?
Okay, look, I agree with you. Okay, I see it very well. But it's one thing to be in a situation where you see a future, however muddy, and another to be in a situation where you see no future at all.
But it is incumbent. It is incumbent that you see your future.
Okay, if I know what I'm demanding of you, in some sense, makes sense. If I know the kids have to eat today, tonight, and tomorrow, in some way makes sense, then I can be there. But if it doesn't make any sense and I don't see anything coming out of it at all, then
Will we eat if you're not there?
if you're on welfare, you want to eat if I am there. So what I really mean is, yes, a man can do that if he sees that it means something. My father, he couldn't see that. He was quite right because there wasn't anything there.
There is something because all I know that works in a world is relationship.
Okay. So,
It takes two people to have a relationship.
right, but the
If
relationship.
you don't have a dream, fake it.
You can't fake a
You
dream.
gotta fake it because we don't have dreams these days. How the hell can you have a dream? For what? Everybody's trying to say, trying to love.
But if I love
Of course you can lie to me, and you will. If you love me, and you're going off married someplace, you're lying to me. What the hell do I care about the truth? I care for you there, like Billie Holiday said. Hush now, don't explain. Of course you'll lie to me. I don't even wanna. And why are you gonna be true with me when you lie to everyone else? You lie when you smile at that guy down at the job, right? So lie to me, smile, treat me the same way you would treat him.
I can't treat you the same way I treat him.
You must. You must. Because I've got the frowns and the anger. He's happy with you, of course. He doesn't know you're unhappy. You grin at him all day long. You come home and I catch hell. Because I love you, I get the least of you. I get the bare minimum. And I'm saying, thank you with me. Is that too much for black woman to ask the black man?
Giovanni, look, you knew that my fiance was coming back. You knew that I was going to leave. But
You're not leaving me for her. You are leaving me for some other reason. You lied. You got so much time to come to me. Oh, you won't lie. But I have citizens. You're not leaving me for this woman. If you were really loving this woman,
no matter what you think, I do love her.
you don't. You don't. You do not love me. You never have loved anyone, and I'm sure you never will. You love the mirror. You love the truth. You just like a little virgin. You walk around with your hands on right of you. I live in precious metal, gold, silver, rubies. Make it down between your legs, and you never give it to anybody. You never let anybody touch you, man or woman. And you wouldn't be clean. You think you go out cover yourself, and you think you will cover yourself, and you do not understand, not even for 5 minutes in the meantime. You want to leave Giovanni because he makes it clean. Huh? You want to despise Giovanni because he's not the greatest sneaky. And you want to kill him and all the lying little moralities. You are immoral. You are immoral than I've ever met in all of my life. Look at me. Look what you've done to me. I do not have to do that. I do not love you. This is what you do to love.
Okay, Giovanni, what do you want me to do? Okay, I can't help the way that I feel.
What do you feel? Do you know how you feel? What do you feel?
I feel like I want to get out of this room. I want to get away from you.
Why do you want to get away from me?
I cannot have a life with you.
You can have like a car.
Yes, I can have a life with you. My life with you. I'm in this room. Don't leave me to the room. I'm like you two think I'm going to all this stuff that you talk about. You want to go out. You want to be a worker. You want to earn money. You want to be a big man. Why you want to be here? Come on, watch this. This miserable closet. I'm going to be a little bagger.
Love is a condition so powerful. It may be that which holds the stars in the firmament. It may be that which pushes and urges the blood in the veins. Courage. You have to have courage to love somebody. Because you miss everything. Everything.
I love you.
That is what you want, and that is all you mean. That is all you ever mean when you say that you love me. You said that I've been trying to kill you? What do you think you've been doing to me?
I'm not trying to make you anything.
Yeah, but why? Why aren't you? Isn't it just that you're afraid, so you take me because you don't have the guts to go after a woman, which is what you really want?
You've only been talking about what I want. But I've only been talking about who I want.
I'm a man, Giovanni! What do you think can happen between us?
You know very well what can happen between us. And it is for that reason you are leaving.
Baby, all I'm saying is beg with me for 10 years so that we get a child on his feet that says, yeah, father smiled at mother. He talked to me about school today. Who cares that you can or can't read? Most Americans can't read. Most people can't read. They just look at the pictures.
Okay, baby, I hear you. I know exactly what you're saying, okay, and I don't disagree, but just think about it for a second, really. I don't know if that's a human possibility. If I gotta smile at a cat all damn job, you know why I'm smiling, right? It's not because I want to, it's because baby needs new shoes. I can't go to work, put on a performance all day on the job, and then come home and put a performance on all night in the house.
So one of the performances will stop.
Okay, so you say, all right, I might be ready to go with that, but then further question, who's gonna pay the rent?
The rent will get paid.
Baby, I'm trying to play it your way, but you gotta be willing to see my point
I
of
see
view.
your point of view, but the rent will have to get paid.
The price of the rent is my smile.
No, I don't want you prostituting yourself. I demand that you not be a prostitute.
Okay, and I don't want you prostituting yourself either, but one of us has gotta work.
You will work it out because you are intelligent enough and you are sensitive enough and you are man enough to work out a new system. Because as long as the assumptions are the same, nothing will change. So we must corner ourselves to make a new assumption.
A black child looking at the world around him, and though he doesn't know quite what to make of it yet, he is aware that there is a reason why his mother works so hard. He's aware that there is a reason why his father is always on edge. He knows that there is a reason why if he attempts to sit in the front of the bus, his father or his mother slaps him and drags him to the back of the bus. He knows that there's a terrible weight on his parents' shoulders, and that menaces him. And it isn't long before he discovers the shape of his oppression.
In the case of the American Negro, every stick, every stone is white. Since you have not yet seen a mirror, you suppose that you are too. It comes as a great shock around the age of 5, 6, or 7 to discover that the flag in which you have pledged allegiance to has not pledged allegiance to you.
It comes as a great shock to see Gary Cooper killing off the Indians, and although you are rooting for Gary Cooper, that the Indians are you. It comes as a great shock to discover the birthplace which you owe your life and identity to has not, in this whole system of reality, evolved into a place for you. The disaffection and the gap between people only on the basis of their skins begins there to accelerate throughout your whole entire lifetime to when you are 30 and you are having a terrible time to manage to trust your countrymen. And when you are 30 and you have been through a certain kind of mill, and the most serious effect of the mill, though, is again, not the catalog of disaster, but the policeman, the waiter, the landlady, the landlord, the banks, the insurance companies, millions of details, 24 hours of every single day, which spell out to you that you are a worthless human being. It is not that. It's by that time that you began to see it happening. And your daughter, and your son, and your niece, or in your nephew.
You are 30 by now, and nothing you have done has helped to escape the trap. But what is worse than that is nothing you have done, and as far as you can tell, nothing you can do will save your son or your daughter from meeting the same disaster and not impossibly the same end. Now, we're speaking about expense. Now, I suppose there are several ways to address oneself in some attempt to find what that word means here. Let me put it this way, that from a very literal point of view, the harbors and the ports and the railroads of this country, the economy, especially of the southern states, could not conceivably be what it has become if they had not had, and still do not have, for many generations, cheap labor. I'm stating this very seriously, and this is not an overstatement. I picked the cotton. I carried it to the market. And I built the railroads under someone else's whip for nothing. For nothing.
The year that preceded my father's death made a great change in my life. Obviously, I was working and living in the South, in New Jersey, amongst the Southerners, white and black. And I knew about the South, of course. You know, I knew how the Southerners treated Negroes, how they expected them to behave, but it never crossed my mind that they would expect me to behave that way. And I knew about Jim Crow too, but you know, I never experienced it until I went to the same self-service restaurant 3 times. And I stood with all the Princeton boys before the counter, high and mighty, waiting on a hamburger and a coffee, but it was always an extraordinarily long time before anything had been set before me. It wasn't until my 4th visit that I realized nothing ever was set before me. I simply just picked something up. Negroes weren't served there, I was told. And they had been waiting for me to realize that I was the only Negro present. Of course, once I was told this, I became determined to go there all the time. But the next time they were ready for me, I never ate there again.
You see, the flag is drenched with our blood. Because you see, so many of our ancestors was killed because we have never accepted slavery. We had to live on it, but we've never wanted it. So we know that this flag is drenched with our blood. So what the young people are saying now, give us a chance to be young men, respected as a man. As we know, this country was built on the black backs of black people across this country. And if we don't have it, you ain't gonna have it either, because we gonna tear it up. That's what they saying. And people ought to understand that. I don't see why they don't
Everybody run, run, run. Everybody scatter, scatter. Some people lost some bread. Someone nearly died. Someone just died. Police they come, army they come. Confusion everywhere. 7 minutes later, all don't cool down, brother. Police don't go away, army don't disappear. Them leave sorrow, tears and blood. Them regular trademark. Them leave sorrow, tears and blood. Them regular trademark. Them regular trademark. Them regular trademark. Them leave sorrow, tears and blood. Them regular trademark. My people say they fear too much. We fear for the thing we no see. We fear for the air around us. We fear to fight for freedom. We fear to fight for liberty. We fear to fight for justice. We fear to fight for happiness. We always get reason to fear. We no one die. We no one move. We no one punch. We no one go. I get one child. I'm a different house. My body for house. I want build house. I don't build house. I don't want quench. I want enjoy. I don't want go. So policeman go slap your face, you know, good luck. Army man go weak on your shoe, they look like donkey. Rhodesia, they feel their bone, all it has the year for nothing. South Africa, they feel their bone. Them leave sorrow, tears and blood. That is why everybody run. Everybody scatter. Some people lost some bed. Someone nearly died. Police they come, army they come. Confusion everywhere. And so time when they go, time no wait for nobody like that. The police will come, army will come with confusion inside like this. Everybody run. Everybody scatter. Some people lost some blood. Someone nearly died. Someone must die. Police they come, army they come. Confusion everywhere. Everybody run. Everybody scatter. Some people lost some blood. Someone nearly died.
Well, I'm still alive. I'm still breathing. Long back here and everywhere. But a few things that wrap around and turn around so they are something new. You know, I refer back to an old song. No one even knows who wrote it. And it's supposed to be spiritual. It's supposed to be about Christian church, but it really is a slave, a folk song. The man says, "If I had my way, if I had my way, little children, great God, if I had my way, I'd tear this building down." It is not new for me. We've always felt that. It is new for you. And if we were white, if we had, in fact, in your mind, a frame of reference, our heroes would be your heroes too. Not Turner would be a hero for himself, effect. Malcolm X might still be alive. It is that you can face, in some ways, the discontent of white people when they rise their heroes. But any white man in the world says, "Give me liberty or give me death," the entire white world applauds. When a black man says exactly the same thing, word for word, he is judged a criminal and treated like one, and everything possible is done to make an example of this bad nigger so they won't be more like him. Now, you can do this if you like until the party is over. But I know, after all, who my heroes are. And George Washington is not one of my heroes. What the American public is always trying to do is to accommodate me into a system which is always meant to my death. They want me to become an accomplice to my own murder. This is what you really mean by integration. Because no matter what I say, no matter what Martin said, the despair in the ghetto, the despair throughout the country, accumulates with every hour. And people grow up much faster than you think they do. People are trying to something now, we say black power. No one's concerned about white power, it's now wiping out Southeast Asia. No one's concerned about the white power, which keeps my children in the ghetto, which does not educate my children, except to become imperialists. This is power. And when the Republic reacts as it did to the linking of the two words, power and black, it's a confession of what the country has done with its power. And no matter how many people say, you're being paranoid about police brutality, I know what I'm talking about. I survived those precinct cases. I know that every black cat in the country knows what the policeman is really like and what about his. I know what he was like when I was really healthy. I was beating my heart. And I know what happens now, but I'm not really healthy. I know too, but if I have a mind, whatever I have to do, just to know that it's Jimmy Ball and not just some other nigga. Go my head up just like the goes about it. Everybody else said. This is better with a little stage. This cannot be a stage. It happened to my mother in the morning, my sister, my brother. It's only now being reborn using this happening to all. But it's happening all these years to us. For me, this has always been a violent country. There's never been a democracy.
The first time I ever saw a man shot to death, his arms flailing wildly like he was dancing for a god he knew he was about to see. What an unholy prayer his body was. Arms were all in the wrong direction, but this poem cannot be about Black Death. It is about how on that night we listened to Tupac, we tried to imagine heaven's ghetto, corner stores draped in gold, little girls playing double dutch, and him still dancing. The following morning I called my mother, because black is still the only God I know worth praying to. I wanted her to know her baby boy was still black and still alive. And how political our phone calls are. How political my phone calls with my mother always will be, but this poem cannot be about politics. This poem has to be about black joy. It has to be about fish fries and cookouts. It has to be about a place where all the little black kids know all the dances even before they come out. It is about how on some days the most revolutionary thing I can do is enjoy my niece's laughter, how their brown faces bubble like good fried bologna sandwiches. This poem is about how when my brother came home from a tour in Iraq, the first thing we did was make fun of each other. We laughed, then we said, I love you. It is about how my aunt laid there in her deathbed, waiting for the cancer to try and make a liar out of her own body. She sat there and cracked jokes. You cannot kill blackness. Too much of it is wrapped in an unshakable joy. And ain't that why they think we magic in the first place? And despite every reason not to, we still smile. We still laugh. We still love. We still black, y'all. We still. We still. All's my life I has to fight, nigga. All's my life hard times like bad trips like Nazareth. I'm fucked up, homie, you fucked up, but if God got us, then we gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. Nigga, hear me, nigga, feel me, we gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright. Nigga, hear me, nigga, feel me, we gon' be alright. And when I wake up, I recognize you looking at me for the pay cut. My homicide be looking at you from the face down. Or make a living in the room with the face down. Excuse me, and let me tell you about my life. Painkillers only put me in the twilight. But pretty pussy and Benjamin is the highlight. I tell my mama I love her, but this what I like. Lord knows. 20 of them in my Chevy, tell them all to come and get me. Reaping everything I sow. So my karma come in heaven, no preliminary hearings to my record. I'm a motherfucking gangster. Silence for the record. Tell the world I know it's too late. Pause because I think I'm going green. Trying to decide my price this all day. Won't you please believe when I say, when you know we've been up and down before. Nigga, when our pride was low, looking at the world like, where do we go? Nigga, and we hate poor, when the killer's dead in the street for sure. Nigga, I'm in the preacher's door. My knees getting weak and my gun might blow, but we gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. Nigga, hear me, nigga, feel me, we gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright. Nigga, hear me, nigga, feel me, we gon' be alright. What you want? You a house, you a car, 40 acres and a mule, a piano, a guitar, anything. See, my name is Lucy, I'm your dog. Motherfucker, you can live at the mall. I can see the evil, I can tell it. I know it's illegal. I don't think about it. I deposit every year to zero. Thinking of my partner, put the candy, penning on the ring, digging in my pocket, and I'm popping big enough to feed you. Buried in my logic, get another dollar just to keep you in the presence of these people. I don't talk about it, be about it every day. I see you. If I got it, then you know you got it. Heaven, I can reach you. Head on, that's all. Just make it chat, I chop it back for y'all. I rap, I black on track, so rest assured. My rights, no wrongs, I'm right till I'm right with God. And you know, we've been up and down before. Nigga, when our pride was low, looking at the world like, where do we go? Nigga, and we hate poor, when the killer's dead in the street for sure. Nigga, I'm in the preacher's door. My knees getting weak and my gun might grow, but we gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. Nigga, hear me, nigga, feel me, we gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright. Nigga, hear me, nigga, feel me, we gon' be alright. Dark nights and my prayers. I remember you was conflicted, misusing your influence. Sometimes I did the same, abusing my power full of resentment that turned into a deep depression. Found myself screaming in the hotel room. I didn't want to self-destruct. The evils of Lucy was all around me. So I went running for answers until I came home.
gonna be all right. What? How y'all doing? Woo! How you doing, man? I've seen this, I don't know how many times, and I'm sitting back there, I forgot certain parts are gonna happen. I get excited. It's just so beautiful. I'd love to hear some words while we're waiting for the team to come down. Well, how are you feeling? Tell me some words of what you're feeling right now. Tell me, just pop them out. Pop them
Move.
out. Move.
Very moved.
Encourage.
Yeah.
Energize.
Power.
Proud. I heard something else? Power. Yes. Anything else? All right. Welcome to the stage, Bashir Page Sanders and Christopher Page Sanders. The directors of New World Contemporary Dance Theater and the creators of this beautiful piece. Let's give them another round. Pleasure of seeing the premiere of this at University of Missouri St. Louis, where our good friend Sister Jacqueline Thompson is a professor. When I saw it, I was like, I need this at SIUE.
Yes.
I said I need this for Black Theater Workshop, and that was 2019. So we have been, working on this, and it just happened that this year was the perfect year. So I'm really grateful to them for being here with us. This is just, it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
I'd love for you all to, if you all want to introduce yourselves, and then we can take some questions. And if anybody from the cast joins us, then we'll welcome them.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
How are y'all doing?
Yeah.
How do y'all feel?
Yeah.
Good. My name is Bashir Muhammad Page Sanders. I am co-artistic director of New World Contemporary Dance Theater. I am originally from Baltimore, Maryland, but currently, of course, living in Denver, where New World Contemporary Dance Theater is based.
And I am Christopher Page Sanders. Thank you for being here tonight and sharing your space with us. I am originally from St. Louis, Missouri. So it's good to bring the company and these artists home once again. And yes, also co-artistic director of New World Contemporary Dance Theater in Denver, Colorado. Yeah.
Yes. So joining us on stage are some of the members of Black Theater Workshop are here. You all can introduce yourselves, actors. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what year you are if you're in school here.
Hello, my name is Trayvon Perkins, and I'm a sophomore here at SIUE.
All right.
Hello, everybody. My name is D'Angelo Franklin. I'm a sophomore here at SIUE.
All right.
Hi, everybody. I'm Joshua Gibson, and I'm a sophomore here at SIUE.
Hello, everyone. I'm Joshua Mayfield. I am not a sophomore here at SIUE. I am actually a graduate of University of Missouri St. Louis.
All right.
I was actually in the previous production of this performance back in 2019.
Woohoo!
I'm gonna brag on a couple. So this is D'Angelo's first show ever. D'Angelo has like 5 degrees already. He really does. He has like a couple of masters, and he came back to do an undergrad in theater. I'm like, what? So this is his first show. This is only Jocelyn's second show, so I'm just very proud of him. It's only your second show on campus, but you performed before, right? So yeah, these folks are. I'm proud of them. This is a very hard week. So do you all have any questions for them? Oh, I see a hand. Yes, Vanessa.
Thank you all so much for sharing your creativity and your talent with us. I am very interested in the origin story for how this came to you all to produce and create for us.
Yeah, the origin story. So in 2017, I have to work backwards. In 2017, I actually created a work on New World Contemporary Dance Theater called Drenched in Our Blood. And Drenched in Our Blood was the last section of the James Baldwin Project tonight. starting from Sorrow, Tears, and Blood to the end. And so in creating that work, James Baldwin has always been a person, activist person, literary writer, poet, playwright, musician, all of those things that he's always kind of sat with me from a very early age and even on now. And so I was having lunch and coffee with my very, very good friend, our other collaborator, Jacqueline Thompson, at the top of 2019. And at that time, it is really unfortunate that the UMSL program was closing and shutting down. And so as their last performance or their last hurrah, we were talking about James Baldwin, and she said, well, why don't we expand on this work and why don't we create a devised work for the students of UMSL with the company, bringing the company to St. Louis. And really that is how all of this, the first two sections and everything before that was burnt out of that process. The process for choosing the material of James Baldwin was really about finding connections. So as you know, we've lived a very interesting 2020, to say the least. But even in 2019, even in 2017, even in 2015, even in 2012, it felt like his words were still very necessary.
Yes.
And it felt like, although he was writing and speaking in the 60s and in the 50s, it felt like those words were cutting even deeper in the 21st century. And so out of that, I kind of went down this rabbit hole of like every James Baldwin book, everything I could like really grab my hands on. And then I also, because people say I'm a musician, I'm not a musician, but I just like music. And so for me, like I went down this rabbit hole of reading and this rabbit hole of listening to music and discovering even my own Blackness and what it means to be Black and gay and our intersections and our dualities, and us as Black creatives and artists, and how there's no like one Black person. And I think every so often or all of the time, it's interesting that our white counterparts think like there's one Black person and like we have to fit that mold. And the work is really about breaking that mold. And the work is really about showing our diversity and our uniqueness and embracing that and embracing our own Blackness and what that means. And so, so the process has been evolving from 2017 through even 2022, because that's what year it is. I was like, what is it?
The dancers who just came out, just to introduce yourselves and tell us where you're from.
DeMarcus Akeem Suggs. I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota, but I live in Memphis, Tennessee right now.
All right.
Hi, my name is Naturel. I'm from Denver, Colorado. Hi, everyone. I'm Nina Moore, originally from Denver, Colorado, but now I live in Philadelphia.
All right.
It's so beautiful when they all got here on Sunday, got to campus. And I mean, first of all, the weather, I just was like, please let them all make it. And they all got here on Sunday. It was just beautiful. And tomorrow, after the show tomorrow, leave to go back home to their other jobs. Who else? Anybody else? A question or comment? Yes.
How did they do the dance move? And it's really cool how they did all that new stuff.
Oh, it's really cool how you did all the new stuff. And how new was it? Had anybody not? Was this first time doing this choreography? And like I said, they just got here Sunday. You just learned it this week.
Whoa.
Just learned it. What's your name? Rosalind wants to know, how did you do all that Cool stuff. Natural.
A lot of just being open-minded, making sure I was focused, and making sure that I was learning the steps, then making sure that I had the musicality, then the details and the music, just making sure I go through all those steps. And then through all of it, just making sure that I emote and really dig deep into what it actually means to be dancing this piece and what my character is and how I can relate it to my real life experiences.
And I just want to add that Natural is only 17 years old.
What? I didn't know that all week.
Yeah, she'll be going off to college in the fall.
Yeah.
We'll see which one. but we've known Natural since she was. I had you from, I had her. She was like my student in modern, and she's grown so much, and she's been with New World for the past year or two. Yeah, and it's so amazing also because Nina started with us as well at a young age.
11.
Okay.
But with the company at 15?
Yeah. And so Nina was this age, which was Natural's age when she originally did this work back in 2000.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So the beautiful thing about the company is we are multi-generational. Part of our focus is on storytelling and telling stories of humanity, and also reframing narratives. Within the dance community, there's this huge narrative that performing dance stops at 30 or a little bit before. 27, 28, 29 is like your sweet spot, and then like around 30 it's like, okay, let's sit down now. And for some that works, and for some it's like a beautiful red wine. It like gets better over time. And so for us it is also about finding ways to shift culture, finding ways for audiences to connect on a deeper level, and finding ways for them to see themselves on stage. And for us as artists to show up, not only for the work, but for each other. So that's a huge part of what we do. So we currently in this cast is 17 through our upper 30s. And so it reflects.
But I mean, but even beyond that, I'm sorry to cut you off. Even beyond that, I mean, when you mentioned multi-generational, I mean, 30 is not,
Right.
But actually, our oldest dancer is actually in her 60s. So that's what we really mean when we say like the oldest dancer, because we still have stories to tell, and it doesn't stop at 20 or 30 years old. It goes.
Any other questions? Yes, Treasure.
I wanted to know, was that Don S. Smith, the poet, over the Miles Davis?
Javon Johnson.
Javon Johnson.
Javon Johnson.
Javon Johnson.
Yes.
Oh.
JAVONJOHNSON.
Okay, thank you. And thank you for that Fannie Lou Hamer audio.
You're welcome.
That was it right there.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. As I was developing this score, which is really weird to say, there were a lot of connections that like come out. So like you hear Malcolm X, you hear Fannie Lou Hamer, you hear James Baldwin, and then you also hear, which was in the duet section, Nikki Giovanni, the Nikki Giovanni and James Baldwin conversation, and then Giovanni's Room. So like we really like these activists and speakers and artists from the 60s are still very present. What they're saying is still very present, and it's calling for the peace and the liberation of Black people and how we can exist in humanity, right? And then for us as Black people, it's asking us to show up for ourselves, but show up for each other. too. And so then how all of that kind of plays together, I think was for me a really cool process to like figure out. You know, it's like I have A through Z. Okay, how do we create this framework?
We have time for, I think, one more. Oh, yes, one more. Two. We'll take two. Yes.
So thank you for this. Thank you for this. And it's not about me, but I'm one of those 30-plus-year-old people that is trying to get back into dance because I was pushed out, right? Naturally, they're like, yeah, you finish college, go back to business. And so, but there, like you said, it's so many stories to tell. It's so much work that needs to be created. And I appreciate this as a millennial, the layers even that you completed. And you gave that great answer to a different world that just warmed my whole soul. Because that's a very classic scene, and I just appreciate that. And so just your creativity and showing again how if you show up for yourself, how many people you can bring into that world with you, and then kind of pump that life back into them to then tap into their inner creative thing. So this was just so fantastic, and I appreciate the work and effort that you all put into this to just tell our stories and tell them in such a way where it shows our humanity. And all of the different topics that you touched on that are so relevant that even us as Black people are still needing to really dive into, right? Black family is huge. We still need to discuss that, right? And love being the given key to all of it. And we need to really define that. And I love, I need this recorded so that way I can kind of watch it over and over again and just pick up on everything and really like bring it on in. But this was great. And I just thank you for that.
Thank you.
More right there.
You know, and talking about this, not just one Black person, right, and things like that, and you've been involved in since you're in your for 30. Can you talk about when you started out, what you may have thought and believed in dance that you had to break through to then get to where you are now?
Oh.
By the way, I'm Cam's mom.
I was gonna say, did you know that was Cam's phone?
And I love you
Cam
dearly.
Sam.
Oh my God!
And so I just want to know, thinking about him and where he's going.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. One of them was I have a butt, I have a booty, and I have thighs.
Yeah.
Like that was one of the, like that was literally a huge barrier because Timothy, we'll just say his name is Timothy, doesn't have one. And so like I have to look at Timothy every day and like try to figure out how do I make my body look like Timothy. That was one. Another was like trying to figure out my place as a dancer, as an artist. And I'm grateful that I found a community. I'm grateful that I found people that I could look up to. I'm grateful that I had like those visuals around me so that when I went into like one of these stories, when I went into my like, how do I figure this out? How do I be small? What does it mean to be small? Like, cause I wasn't a small person. Cause I'm from St. Louis and I, the end on that. I'm not, yeah. So like I have to do a lot of work and like try to figure out like, I can do the work and be healthy and I can make the choice to be healthy and make healthier decisions, but not to overcompensate my healthiness, which will take you down a different path, right? So like for me, part of that is like understanding who I am and having a good sense of who I am. And I had to do a lot of work to do that so that I don't fall into the trap of comparison, which for me as a person is really easy to do. Like really easy.
Yeah.
Like unbelievably easy.
Don't you think for,
Right.
for most
For,
artists,
for
right?
many
For most
people,
artists,
yeah. Like for many people, it's like, ooh, that person has like everything I wish I had. And how do I get that? And I wish I had that. And like it's just a whole like rabbit hole thing.
So you
yeah,
created your own. So you created your own.
so I created my own, right?
Yeah.
Right? And like being grateful for what I have and for what I know I can bring that Timothy can't bring.
Yeah.
Like you have to find that. Like you have to find and know what you have that Timothy doesn't have. Because actually what you have that Timothy doesn't have, Timothy's wishing that he had.
Come on.
All right. So yeah, it's a journey. Life is a journey. Like it's not, and go on that journey. That's what I think. The end.
That's words of wisdom. Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up. I mean, I could go on talking I'm listening to them talk forever because they're brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. I hope that you all have enjoyed this. We will. You asked about watching it over and over again. We're gonna have it on our YouTube channel, SIUE Department of Theater and Dance. We'll have that up for a little while so you can see it. Also, if you scan the code out there, you can get to their website. You can see a program about this, but also the other things that they're doing, that the company's doing. Please come back and see us at the theater department. My brother Gio is directing the next show on the main stage. Life Sucks. It opens when, Gio? Cousin Jones.
I don't want to think about it, Josh. You're in the show. When do we open up?
She did 2 shows.